Hi guys, how you doing? I hope that you're all well and enjoying this lovely weather that we're having. It's absolutely glorious outside. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacqueline Francis and I am an award-winning author, a speaker, and I am an advocate for women and girls for healthy, to build healthy relationships. So I'm quickly jumping on here just to talk about a post that I did, I think it was last week, where I showed me modeling on This Morning. I had a lot of comments on that and a lot of shares, and people asking me how is it that I managed to get on one of the, Britain's biggest daytime TV program. How did I manage to do that? Well, let me tell you. A few years ago, I lacked self-confidence. So a few years ago, I started, thinking, I need to have a relationship with myself. And who am I? Who is Jacqueline? Do you know what I mean? Because I had some issues, some personal issues going on, and I felt a bit worthless, actually. I didn't really know what my purpose was. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I liked. So I thought, well, one day I just happened to, sitting on, on my sofa watching the TV as you do, and This Morning was on. Now I like This Morning because I do like Holly because she's like a ray of sunshine. Anyway, I thought, I had started the process of having a relationship with myself. As you guys know, I've written a couple of books about relationships, and I've also created a journal to start. One of the steps to start building self-relationships, self-care, self-love. How do you go about loving and looking after yourself? So I wanted to do something that was not necessarily big, but I guess just to take me out of my comfort zone, really. And I thought, okay, well, what can I do? So This Morning, we're advertising for Real Women. I don't know if you guys remember Gok Wan, and his fashions and stuff like that. And I love Gok Wan anyway. So I thought, okay, well, I might as well apply. I've got nothing to lose, So this is me making another step to building my self confidence, to know that I don't need anyone to validate me, who I am. So I thought, okay, I'll go on this program. So I thought I'll apply and let's just see what happens. I didn't really think anything of it. And the weeks and the months went by, and I remember I came back from holiday, and when you go on holiday, you overeat a little bit because it's all inclusive and everything like that. So I came back, and it was actually on the day after. It was either on the day or the day after I got this call, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not ready to go back to work yet. Who is this person calling my number? Anyway, I answered it, and it was, someone from This Morning reminding me that I made this application to be on their problem for Gok's Real Women. And am I still interested in doing it? And I thought, oh my gosh, it's too late to back out now, and this is what I wanted for myself, because I know it's hard for many people how do you go about building your self-confidence? What are the steps that you take in terms of building your self-confidence? What is your purpose? So I thought, okay, well, maybe if I go on to this program, it will empower me in some way or another. I didn't really know what to expect. So yes, I went on the show, and the first thing that I actually modeled, believe it or not, can you guess what was the first thing I actually modeled? A bikini. Where am I going in a bikini on national television? And I've just come back from holiday having put on weight. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had said yes first before I actually knew what it was. But then I thought to myself, if I knew what it was, would I have said yes? Would I have missed this opportunity? I don't know. I think if I had, no, I wanted to do it anyway. I really wanted to do it. So that's how I ended up being on TV on This Morning. And I talk a lot about self-relationships and building relationships with yourself. And if you allow yourself to build deeper relationships, then you're in a position to start building relationships with other people. And as a result of my saying yes, to that opportunity, I was invited back to This Morning to model a fair few times, I must say. Didn't expect it, but I managed to build up that rapport, and they asked me to come back. So that's why I ended up modeling on This Morning, and it really did help with my self-confidence and my self-esteem. Wasn't really expecting people to come up to me and say, "Weren't you the woman on This Morning?" I'm like, yes, because sometimes you think no one's really watching, but I mean, it's a TV program with over a million viewers. So, but you don't really expect anybody, walking down the street where you are to say, I saw you on TV. So yes, that was a great experience. So I share that with you for those people who are, or women and girls, in this time, in this very difficult time that we are in at the moment, where we are on. Okay, we were on lockdown, and yes, lockdown has eased somewhat, but as you can see from the press, that things are saying that we might, some parts of the country are back on lockdown. And this has raised people's anxiety. This is the fact that you haven't been able to go out. How do you start, building back up your confidence? And that's a little bit of what I wanted to share with you today. So just in case you haven't noticed, or you're new to my platform called Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet, I am a former teacher and I love creating resources. So a few weeks ago, I created a resource called If You Want to Build Your Self-Confidence. So I decided not to ask for any email addresses, and I know that's what people do, ask for email addresses, but I wanted people to have the opportunity to download the guide, and this is it here, Want to Build Your Self-Confidence. And it's just a quick guide, really, for anyone who is struggling, who knows that they want to do something, but they're not quite sure what, because of they have this self-doubt that's going on in their ear of something that may have happened to them in the past. That they still have this little voice going on saying that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you can't do that, you're not, all these negative words that are going through your mind, and it stops you in your tracks, because then you start to question yourself. Who are you to think that you can do this, after people have told you that you can't? And I don't want you to take this on board. And I want to help women and girls who are struggling with their self-confidence, and know that there's something out there that you want to do, and you're struggling to get there because of something that's happened in your past. But I want to tell you that you need to leave the past behind. If someone has done something to you, I'm not saying for you to forget, but you've got to learn to forgive. And I talk a lot about that in my book, actually, learning how to forgive. And it's not a sign of weakness, but in order for you to love yourself, you've got to take those first steps. So I've devised a guide called Want to Build Your Self-Confidence. And it's just a guide. There's 3 things in there. It just talks about, it gives you the opportunity to give yourself self-affirmations. I remember when I was creating my journal, and I talked about, that I am beautiful, I am worthy, I can do anything, and they ring true, actually. I mean, you may think it's not worth doing, but I must say it is worth doing. Talk to yourself about how beautiful you are, how awesome you are, how you can do anything, how wonderful you are, and set your mind to it, and do it as a daily ritual. Try to have a daily ritual. I mean, I know for myself, I have daily rituals. I wake up in the morning, the first thing before I get out of bed is to say a prayer, the Lord's Prayer, actually, and then I give thanks for being able to get up and to start a new day. And I have the same ritual, actually, when I go to bed. And then after that, I have a shower and come downstairs and everything. And then one of the things that I do is yoga. So that's all about self-relationships, self-care, self-love, loving yourself, doing something for yourself. And as many people have already said, it's not being selfish or anything like that. But you know, you can't give from an empty cup. So you've got to fill yourself up. And I certainly have filled myself up. So it has allowed me to give back, to help those other girls or women who may be struggling. And as you know, I'm an advocate, well, maybe you don't know, I'm an advocate against domestic abuse. So I want to encourage women who may have been victims of domestic abuse that, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it may not seem that way now, but, you know, it will happen. And also for those women who may have left relationships and are struggling to get back out into the world and build up on their self-confidence. That's why I've created Want to Build Your Self-Confidence, because it's about loving yourself first. It's about building those foundations in order for you to get to build self-confidence. And it's just like, it sort of reminds me really of when, you know, you're going to the gym. Not that I go to the gym, but when you go to the gym and you want to tone and build your muscles and so forth, you wouldn't expect to get results on the first time that you attend. It takes time, you know, to build up those muscles. Exactly the same way as it will take time to build up self-relationship, loving yourself by doing different activities. And it will take just as long to build self-confidence. So, you know, it's not something that you have to rush into. You know, you just take your time. There is no rush whatsoever. So yeah, so if you want to build yourself, you know, build self-relationship in order to build self-confidence, once you start building your confidence, it allows you to start having relationships and build successful relationships with other people. And I think I first started to do that when, you know, when you're in a relationship and you've left a relationship, how do you get back out there? How do you start building confidence to do what it is that you want to do? And, you know, I know, you know, when I left a relationship, which was quite a while ago, how did I start building back? How did I start creating relationships for myself? And I know that the first thing I did actually was take a course. It was a French course. Oh my gosh, because I love French. So I decided to take a French course, you know, and that's working on myself. So it could be anything for you, in the affirmations, in the checklist that I've done as well in there. In the booklet, actually, in the guide, you'll get affirmations, and you'll get a checklist of certain things that you might be able to pick and choose what it is that you want to do in order to start building self-relationships with yourself. And those are some of the things that I used myself. So I haven't written down anything or given you anything that I haven't done myself. And then another section was a bit of an exercise, actually, where when you download the guide, it will get you to reflect on where you are in your life at the moment, and, you know, to take note of the things that you may not be happy with what's going on in your relationship or even after your relationship. And it would also give you the opportunity of, you know, once you've identified those things that are not making you happy, or, you know, you want to do more, what are the steps that you're going to take in order to achieve what it is that you want to achieve? So yeah, that's it really. You know, we're living in a time where, you know, people's anxiety is rising, they're lacking self-confidence, and I just wanted to be able to help you to make those steps in having a relationship with yourself, and in order for you to build such, you know, confidence, and then, you know, gain personal success. Because I know for a fact that if I did not build self-confidence, if I didn't love myself, if I didn't work on myself, I would not have built self-confidence, and I would not have achieved personal success. Now, remember, personal success does not necessarily mean, you know, financially stable. It could personal success for yourself. What does I guess you need to ask yourself, the question is, what does personal success mean to you? And whatever it means to you, that's what you need to start working towards. And for those women who are just coming out of a relationship, or a domestic abuse relationship as well, again, this is for you to take tiny steps. You know, there's no reason to start rushing in. You know, just take your time. You know, there is no hurry. And start working on yourself. That's the most important thing in order to build your self-confidence. So yes, I'm just going to leave it there for now. So as I said, you know, I'll put the link to the guide in the post, or you can just check on the other posts that I've made, and just scroll through it and see what I'm actually offering you. Because as I said, my cup is full, and I want to help any women or girls who want to start building their confidence and they're not quite sure where to start. Or even if you've built self-confidence, then you know something that this might, a friend of yours or a family member who you think might appreciate it, then please do share the link. Please do share the link. I'm also streaming on YouTube as well. So my YouTube handle is Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet. So you guys know I'm the person that stops sweeping things under the carpet. And before I go, I just want to say that if anyone wants to come onto my show to talk about anything that they've swept under the carpet, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, anything negative or anything like that. It doesn't have to be that. It could be something that you want to really do, like build a company or start writing a book or something like that. Oh, hi, Elizabeth. How are you? I hope that you're well. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, if you want to, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's all doom and gloom or anything like that, or anything negative. It could be something that you're excited about, that you want to do, but you haven't managed to do it because of that little voice saying to you that you can't do it, and you've swept that idea or that dream of yours, or under the carpet. I don't want you to do that. So if you do want to come on my program and share with me, because you never know when, sharing is caring. Once you start talking about something, then there may be some other person out there that's saying or thinking the same thing. So yeah, do come and talk to me about it. So maybe we might have, try to find a way for you to get to the point where you want to get to. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, I know I talk about domestic abuse, and I know, so far I've talked about racism and stuff like that, but it may be something that you are, one of your goals or something that you want to do, that you may have swept under the carpet because you might think that you're not good enough to do that, or that little voice that you're having in your head. So thank you for those people who have joined me. Thank you, Elizabeth, for commenting. Please do share for someone who you think might benefit from it. As I said, my cup is full, so I'm happy to help anyone get to that next stage. And please do download. It's free, the guide. Please do download it. I don't need an email address. When I say it's free, I don't want an email address or anything like that, because I know some people might be apprehensive and think that they may be bombarded with, come and join my course or something like that. No, it's nothing like that. It's free. So that's it. So thank you very much for joining me. Please do share, as I said. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for commenting, for taking the time to comment. I really do appreciate that. And yes, until next time, I will speak to you soon. Have a great evening and a fabulous weekend. Take care. Bye.